For centuries, the battlefield has been a reflection of human innovation, strategy, and the relentless pursuit of dominance. From the clang of swords in ancient duels to the thunderous roar of cannons and rifles, warfare has undergone a dramatic transformation. Early civilizations relied on close combat, where swords, spears, and shields determined victory. Strength and skill ruled the battlefield. But as technology advanced, so did the tools of war. The invention of gunpowder in China changed everything, paving the way for firearms that reshaped combat forever. No longer was victory solely determined by physical prowess. Strategy, speed, and firepower took center stage. The evolution of warfare not only changed how battles were fought, but also altered the course of history itself. This is the story of how weapons evolved, empires rose and fell, and the art of war transformed from blade to bullet. The age of swords and spears. In 3000 BCE, the world's first organized armies emerged in Mesopotamia. Warriors wielded bronze swords and spears, relying on strength and skill. The Egyptians, 2500 BCE, mastered spear formations, while the Greek hoplites, 700 BCE, perfected the phalanx strategy, using large shields and spears to dominate battlefields. By 500 BCE, the Persian immortals used long spears and curved swords, fighting in disciplined ranks. The Romans, 100 BCE, 400 CE, revolutionized combat with the gladius, a short sword ideal for close combat. Their legions of 5,000 men fought with unmatched precision. However, in 476 CE, Rome fell and medieval knights emerged. From 1100 to 1400 CE, they ruled the battlefield with steel swords and heavy armor. But as war evolved, so did weapons. By 1500 CE, gunpowder weapons started replacing swords, marking the end of an era. The sword, once the king of battle, slowly faded into history. Bows and crossbows. In 10,000 BCE, early humans used simple bows for hunting, but by 3000 BCE, the Egyptians had adapted them for war. Their archers, mounted on chariots, could strike enemies from a distance, giving them a tactical edge. In 1200 BCE, the Hittites and Assyrians improved archery with composite bows, increasing range and power. By 500 BCE, the Persians, Greeks, and Romans used bows extensively, but it was the English longbow, 1250 CE, that changed warfare forever. In battles like Agincourt, 1415 CE, 6,000 English archers devastated 20,000 French knights with rapid, long-range fire. The Mongols, 1206, 1368 CE, led by Genghis Khan, mastered horseback archery, striking fear across Eurasia. Meanwhile, in China, 200 BCE, the crossbow emerged, a deadly innovation that required less training but delivered powerful shots. By 1000 CE, crossbows spread across Europe, allowing common soldiers to pierce knightly armor. However, by 1500 CE, gunpowder weapons like arquebuses and muskets started replacing bows and crossbows. Though these ranged weapons had dominated for centuries, their reign ended as firearms changed the face of battle forever. Gunpowder and cannons. In 9th century China, alchemists accidentally discovered gunpowder, a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. By 904 CE, the Tang dynasty used early gunpowder weapons like fire arrows and rudimentary bombs. By 1200 CE, the Mongols spread gunpowder knowledge across Eurasia, and soon the world witnessed a new age of warfare. The first cannons, 1280 CE, appeared in China and quickly reached the Middle East and Europe. The Ottomans, 1453 CE, used massive cannons like the Great Turkish Bombard to break the legendary walls of Constantinople, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. In England, 1346 CE, cannon fire shocked the French in the Battle of Crécy, showing that even the strongest knights could not withstand explosive power. By 1500 CE, nearly every European army had cannons, changing siege warfare forever. Machine guns and artillery. By 1861 CE, the first Gatling gun, invented by Richard Gatling, introduced rapid-fire capability, marking the beginning of automatic weapons. Though initially hand-cranked, it could fire 200 rounds per minute, making traditional musket formations obsolete. By 1884 CE, Hiram Maxim developed the first fully automatic machine gun, the Maxim gun, which could fire 600 rounds per minute and required fewer soldiers to operate. The impact was devastating. In 1893 CE, the British, armed with Maxim guns, crushed 5,000 Zulu warriors in minutes. During World War I, 1914 to 1918 CE, machine guns like the Vickers and MG-08 turned open battlefields into killing zones, forcing armies into trench warfare. The old style of combat, cavalry charges and bayonet fights, was gone forever. Meanwhile, artillery evolved into the deadliest force on the battlefield. In 1916 CE, during the Battle of Verdun, over 1 million artillery shells were fired in a single day, reshaping the landscape and causing massive casualties. By World War II, 1939 to 1945 CE, advanced artillery, like the German 88mm flak gun, could destroy both tanks and aircraft, proving its versatility. The rise of tanks, airplanes, and long-range artillery signaled the complete transformation of warfare. Firepower, not manpower, now determined victory. The age of swords, spears, and even muskets had ended, replaced by mechanized, industrialized destruction that would shape the wars of the future. Firearms and the end of the sword era. By the late 16th century, firearms had effectively replaced swords and other traditional weapons on the battlefield. The muskets and rifles that emerged provided greater accuracy and range, making hand-to-hand combat less relevant. The Battle of Lepanto, 1571, was one of the last great conflicts fought primarily with swords and close-range weapons, where the naval forces relied on boarding actions. However, the invention of rifling in the early 17th century improved bullet trajectory, making firearms even more effective. By the time of World War I, 1914 to 1918, the sword had become a ceremonial weapon rather than a practical tool of war. The transition from blade to bullet marked a defining shift in military history. The evolution of warfare, from the sharp edge of swords to the precision of firearms, has been a journey of constant innovation and adaptation. As new weapons emerged, whether bows, cannons, or rifles, battlefields transformed, shaping the course of history. Each shift in weaponry not only changed how wars were fought, but also how societies were built, torn down, and rebuilt. From the intimate clash of steel to the thunderous roar of modern artillery, warfare has continually pushed the boundaries of human ingenuity, leaving us with a legacy that still influences military strategy today.